Okay, I'm back. The kids have been given fresh scissors to run with, so now we're good to go. Okay, we're rolling for the free check. I have one Rancheria with 3 finished. So I rolled a 1, so they do get a free action. And it's going to be the north. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's flipping over, and it's going to be the war action, which what hurts about it is now we got to pray that we roll a 4, 5, or 6, or otherwise they repair their ravage token, and boom, there it is. Cha-ching. Thank you for explaining that rule to me. So we survived that, but now we're still going to have the enemy take an action here. And I drew a success token. So they're really not going to. They have 1 AP available. So we're going to go through the rigmarole of rolling a 4, which is the west. And then I'm going to roll a 1, which means that this war is going to flip over to a culture. But it doesn't actually execute anything. But that culture is brutal. That would make us lose 4 culture points. Whew. Okay, so anyways, that brings us to the end. So now we go back to the beginning, war columns, there aren't any, and then we have to do a passage of time. So we're gonna get ready and do that. I don't think, yeah, so let's just do passage of time. My apologies, I'm having a brain fart here. Okay. Mark all in-play bands is unfinished. We can do that. Technically, this one was finished too, but when we rolled during the free instruction check, I did it correctly. Okay, players may spend resource counters to create new bands. This is... Do I want to create a new band? I mean, I have room for more. I just don't know if I want to. I am not going to create a new band. Rancheria C could use some help, but we're not going to create a new band. So now we're going to spend population points to increase the strength of bands by 1. So I do want a 3-strength band. You know what? I am going to create a new band. I apologize. We're going to do it here, and we'll spend a bison. And then now we're going to spend 2 points of pop to upgrade this from a 1 to a 3. And then we're going to spend 2 points of pop to upgrade both of these to a 2. Like that. And I still have 2 food left, which is fine. And then I have 2 food here. The tough part here is I could spend the food to make him a 2 strength. But, you know, these guys with the 6 movement points are actually really nice sometimes. You don't always want highest strength bands. These ones with the 6 movement are very, very helpful. I think that's good. I do have one more 2 strength that I can upgrade something to. I just don't want to spend a food, which is 2 pop points for only a 1 pop point upgrade. So I'm going to just hold on, like so. Yeah, we'll call it. All right. player may place a new Rancheria. We're going to do that right now. So it's going to be this guy. So he's going to be Rancheria E with a horse, and as you can see, we have Kebab with them. All right, so we're going to put Kebab back in the C zone. And then these guys show up here. E is going to appear in Colorado. And this guy is going to take on the value of Kebab, which is a 3. So he's going to go to a 0. And then this is going to be equal to the strength of the unit, which is a 2. The Paraibo here. Okay, so we now have Bob, Rob, Kebab, Shish Kebab, and what's the last one going to be? Slob, Rob, Tub, Knob, Gob. He'll be Gob. Okay, so there we go. And now we got Rancherias everywhere. So when I do a culture action, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just from the Rancherias. And then I'm going to get a 6th one for Lower Arkansas, and I'm going to get a 7th one for Upper Arkansas. So we're going to be able to get 7 culture points every time we do a culture action. I think, folks, I can officially declare I made that action quite efficient. It's what I like to do in solo games like this. I like to, I was able to do it. So I was telling you about how, as far as puzzles go, this puzzle interested me. This game is very procedural. I can see why some people might not like it. I think as far as solitaire games go, this has all the elements of fantastic solitaire games. The one thing it doesn't have is the sense of exploration, like maybe like Robinson Crusoe did, where you start here and you're exploring, and then you do things. What Robinson Crusoe pulled off is actually really hard to duplicate. Other games have tried, like Mage Knight, I think does it really well. I love the Star Trek, which is really just Mage Knight and Star Trek theme. It is a lot simpler. I do like the simplification, largely because you know me, I'm Jeff who gets rules wrongs. So Star Trek is just easier to not get rules wrong. But I like this game. I really do. I'm really glad that this is in my collection. And there's a lot of moments in this game where we could have lost. And it was like, yes. And actually this moment right here. So we just created this new Rancheria. And we're not necessarily winning this game. We're only on the second history phase. And I actually have to just survive until a victory check occurs, right? So we got to just stay alive until a victory check happens. And then when that victory check happens, obviously we still have 2 more historical eras. And eventually there's going to be an East enemy. And as you can see, we've been benefiting from not having anybody from the East bothering us. So we're going to get encroached a lot from every direction. So this is by no way a win. But being this far in, I'm having fun. Like I'm at a spot where I feel like I actually have some sense of control. And that's another thing that I think solitaire games are very hard to do. Sometimes you feel like you have no control at all. Perfect game of that is this War of Mine. Okay, you make choices in that game, but your choice doesn't make a lick of an effing difference because you draw cards and bad things happen to you and there's nothing you could have done about it. And even if you would have made the other choice, then that card still would have hurt you. This War of Mine is a roller coaster and you just got to hold on tight until you get to the end. I mean, so you have to just enjoy things happening to you, and then you're like, okay. This one, things still happen to you, but I feel like I have some control over it. And that's, I think, the delicate balance that I look for in any game, not just a solitaire game. But even like when I'm playing a Euro game, I don't like games that are too random. And it's really hard because it's very subjective. What does too random mean? It is very subjective, but for me, I like to have some control. Now, I have some gaming buddies. One of them I hope he doesn't mind I at least use his first name. We refer to him as Big Mike. Big Mike is a very good board gamer. He can beat me in many games, but the thing with Big Mike is he has to have complete control over his board games, or he tantrums. And he tantrums hard. I mean, you think he's gonna like bust an artery. And here's a perfect example. We taught him how to play Archipelago. And Archipelago, if for those of you that know, has a secret condition that you hold on to, and you don't reveal it until the end of the game. And then when you reveal it at the end of the game, most games, when you have a secret condition like that, that's for you and just you. So if I reveal it, I may get to score 4 more points, but it just applied to me. Well, in Archipelago, when you reveal those secret conditions, it applies to every player. And so Big Mike had like this game like completely mathed out, and we get to the end, and one of my buddies, he's revealing his. I just scored 4 points off of that. I reveal mine. I score 6 points off of that. Big Mike scored 0 off of both of ours. And then he reveals his own, and I scored 4 more points off of his. And what's funny is I ended up winning the game, right? Because of all the end game scoring. And he was infuriated. He refused to ever play that game again. And it's because he does not have control over the game. The game had this one element that was a mystery to him, and he could not control it, and that upset him. And see, that's an example. And Big Mike, I love playing with you. So if you ever listen to this, all power to you. But this is an example, though, of his line for what is a good game versus a bad game is much tighter than mine. Like, I love the fact that those end game swings happen. And I'm okay with that. It's totally fine to me. But I do have a similar line of my own. It's just a little bit more relaxed than his. But like, he likes full control. I like to have some control. And then some people just like the wild and crazy whatever. So anyways, I didn't mean to go off on a diatribe here, but my review of this is that I'm really glad this is in my collection. And I'm still thinking I'm going to possibly lose this game, but I do like the fact that I can control certain elements. And we'll see how this plays out and go from there. But very well done. I think another thing that I just really love about the game is these player aids were so helpful. I can't stress that enough. It made this game welcoming to me. And of course, if it wasn't for you guys pointing out this rule I was missing, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. Now I enjoy it a lot more. All right, let's keep going. We may retire a Bob in order to increase the Paraibo's medicine to the Bob level. So, sorry, I took a drink. If we look at these Bobs out here, there's only one situation where retiring a Bob would help us, and it's all the way up there, and I'm not going to do that. So we're going to keep going. The Headman Death Check, yes. So now we're going to do the Death Check, and yeah. All right, so we're going to start with Rancheria E. Bob's at a 3, so Bob stays. The Paraibo is at a 2. He stays. We're going to go to D. Bob's at a 1. And Paraibo, actually, it doesn't matter what I roll. They're staying. Now we go to C. Only the Paraibo is at a 2. He's fine. And now we're at B. They're both at a 2. So this is for Bob. And then this is for Paraibo. 4. And then now we're at Rancheria A. Bob is at a 3. Got a 4. And the Paraibo is at a 4. And I got a 4. Okay, so nobody moved. This was actually quite a miracle. And then we're going to go ahead and roll for the Bob in C. And I rolled 2 2s, which suck. So Bob at C is moving up to a 1. Okay, so that's all done. All the success counters go back in the cup. We only had one. Each tribe or settlement with a ravaged marker is removed. And that's the big thing, because we just hit our victory condition for this era by removing that tribe right there. So they're gone. We now control Upper Arkansas and Lower Arkansas. And roll a die for every piece and ally counter, and if we get greater than the AP cost, the piece ends, so we'll do that. And then we're gonna put a bison on the territory. Okay, so we have an ally here for 5, an ally here for 3, and I thought we had a piece, but that's right, the war happened. Oh, piece there for 3. So let's roll for the piece. I rolled a 5, so the piece is gone. So yellow is no longer at peace with us. Now we're gonna roll for the ally 5. 4 is fine, ally 3. And actually the 2 allies stay with us. So the tribes are staying allied with us, that's fine. Now we're gonna roll for the bison. I rolled a 6, which I was hoping the bison would be somewhere else. But actually we do get to put it somewhere else because 6 is completely full. And so we're gonna take this bison here, and I can, for example, put him right there in Upper Arkansas. Okay, we are done with that. So now all 3 of these are being discarded. And then we're gonna draw some new development cards. 1, 2, 3. And then we get to purchase a culture card, and then before I forget, this is gonna move now. And the culture card I know we're gonna purchase is worth 2 culture points. We're gonna get Warfare 2. And so now, during a raid or a warpath, and this is a warpath action, this thing here, while making a success check, the player may draw 1 extra counter from the cup. And we have to declare it before we draw, of course. But the thing is now I can spend just a movement point, and for every success drawn, I put a ravage counter on. And so I'm not necessarily raiding anymore. So I'm not taking captives. And the cool thing about this is, let's say I draw an enemy action point. I ignore it. I don't give it to the enemy. I just put it back in the cup. So that's why this warfare to me seems powerful. Because when you raid and you draw in something that's not a success, it helps the enemy. Now I can do this shenanigan and it doesn't help the enemy. And it really helps to use these guys, because it's the movement point equal to your strength. So his strength is a 1, so he only has to spend 1 movement point. So these guys become super powerful, these 1 strength units, to do warfare. It's a very slick little idea. I'm feeling a little sad it took me so long to figure it out. But there we go. I just bought a level 2 warfare, and we're going to eventually buy a level 3 warfare, which during that same warpath action, if I get at least 1 success counter, I get to play extra ravage counters on the target. Instead of just 1, I get to do 2. So, shabam. That's, we can really do some ravaging at that point. Okay, so that was a little ahead of the game. We got to do this first, and let's do that. The first one here, Osage expansion, or Osage, I don't know how to pronounce it. When revealed, place an available tribe into a map space of the Lower Arkansas, which stacking limit will permit. Remove any bison from the space. If no space can accommodate, put it in Upper Arkansas, and then discard this card and draw another one. Okay, so we're going to get an annoying tribe that has now joined us. So it said to do random, so I'm just going to roll the 1 through 6 and go with whatever it is. So I rolled a 4. So a tribe is coming out into Lower Arkansas on the 4 space. Like so. And then we're supposed to draw another card. So I'm just going to draw another card and put it at the bottom of this one. All right, first card, spend 1 AP. As long as this card's in your hand, we can risk losing this card. Roll a die, discard this card. 3 and 4, treat as a success run with no medicine impact. And on a 5 or a 6, we can treat as 1 success run and return 1 enemy AP counter to the cup. Ooh, this isn't bad. Obviously, with my luck, I would roll 1 or a 2 right away, but it's pretty cool. Okay, play from hand before a raid. Regardless of a success check, the raiding band collects 1 captive, 1 horse, and 1 ravage goes on the space. And then we can pay an AP to get it back in our hand again. It's okay. Spend 1 AP. Play from hand in order to mark all in-play bands as unfinished. That's not bad either, because you can do that right before you do a planning step. That's actually quite brilliant. Okay. So I think we are at the end. So there's not going to be any... so now we got to draw from the cup to see if the enemy gets to take an action. Because remember, this phase passage of time thing happens in the middle of a turn. Okay, so off we go. And I drew a success. The enemy does have 1 action point, so I still have to select one. It's going to be the west, and I rolled a 1, which actually helped us immensely. Okay, so no war bands nor war columns on the map. It is our turn, and we get to choose actions or otherwise. I think I definitely want to do actions, and I need to get rid of this here in order to meet our victory condition that sort of encroached upon us. The culture is sitting at 6 points. It is not higher than the military, so we can't, spend culture to make the military go up. Actually, I'm not sure I could have done that before, now that I think about it. But I can't remember. I'd have to go back and relook at my video. I think I could have done it for a few military points, but maybe not as many as I did. But it's too late. We're moving on. Okay, so let me take a drink and figure out what I want to do. Okay, the warfare card says do a success check. And so all non-success counters do go into enemy's AP box. So even if I do this warpath action, it does not help me. The only thing is warpath lets me draw an extra chip because I now have the level 2 warfare card. Otherwise, warpath is no better than a raid. It's just that now I get to draw 2 instead of 1. So, but it does still go in an enemy AP box. So I don't get to avoid that because it specifically says make a success check, which is this box here. So sorry if I misled you. The warfare is not quite as good as I thought it was. But with that said, I think I want to do an action with C. And... the reason I say that is because I want to, this Lower Arkansas guy, we need to get rid of him. We need to put some heat on him. So we can activate B, which is, he's 3 spaces away, which is hard. Or we could do C, where he's 2 spaces away. B would have been more ideal. You know what? Should I raid or should I do this warpath thing? If I activate Rancheria A, yeah, see, okay. So no matter what, I need to get rid of this Lower Arkansas thing. Does it need to be my priority right now? The answer is no. I don't have to do that right now. I did want to get some food in Rancheria C because I only have a level 1 guy there. And he could get, eliminated if I don't, use food to make him better. Sorry, folks. I'm just still trying to process here. My Rancheria A has always been my powerhouse, but it's starting to become less and less of one. But you know what? The West is still a big threat to us. So I'm going to activate Rancheria A. They're our largest threat. And we have a Paraibo level of 4, so we can actually put all 4 counters out. I'm not saying we need to activate all 4, but we do have the power to. And my Bob level is 3, which is also part of the reason why I want to activate him, because the Bob level is good. All right, so we have a bison we can go get, and this one here can do it, so we can use him to hunt. And he would have taken a horse, and that's it. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not showing you the map. The bison was right here, so he would use 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 from that. Okay, so now, what do I want to do with the rest of the guys? Actually, hold on. Let me look at something real quick. Ooh, here's something I never realized, folks. Let's say I activate this band and he goes and does something and then he doesn't come back home. So now he's out, on a space. The take action step, where we do that, is step 2. Excuse me. Now, if we go down, go to step 4. I may activate any band that's not in the reservation by spending AP points. So I can activate the very same band I just already activated. That's mind-blowing in a way. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to activate the 2 here, and I'm not going to take a horse with me, and he is going to just grab a food, so it's going to cost 2 movement points to go 1 space, but that's fine. I'm going to move him to Rancheria C for 4 movement points, and then he's going to just drop the food off there. So Rancheria C is going to get beefed up a little bit, and that's important. And now they have a food, so they can do something. All right. Now, let's keep going. This guy is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And he has 2 movement points left, and we're going to do Warpath for both of them. So I get to draw an extra success chit. So I get to draw 2 chits instead of 1. And that's going to be 5 and 6. And I'm going to end his turn right there on that spot. So So we're gonna warpath and draw 2 chits at a time. Here's the first 2. Success and success. That actually sort of hurts me, but it's all right. It says for each success drawn, put a ravage counter on. Actually, that doesn't hurt at all. So here we go. 2 ravage counters going on. And we're going to draw again for 2 more. There's an AP and an AP. So actually, it sort of worked out. All right, so I put 2 ravage counters on. And then just so you know, I'm going to spend an AP later in the turn to move this guy back home. I could raid him actually 2 more times, but I'm just going to move him back home. I think the 2 ravage counters right now is good enough. So then for the last one, which I've been keeping everybody in suspense, this horse would have been used by him. And then this horse is going on with him and this guy. And so Bob, we're going to raid the settlement. The settlement's right next to us. So that's 2 movement points. So then I get to do 2 raids. And Bob is a level 3. So here we go. And I rolled a 4. So nothing happens, but I still get to draw 3. So I'm going to draw 3 right now. And 1, 2, 3. So I get 1 success and 2 enemy APs go on. The success I'm going to use to take a captive. And that goes on Bob's your uncle. And then we're going to roll again for Bob. Roll a 4 again. Bob is worthless. 1, 2, 3. And you know, what am I doing again? I'm what do you call it? I'm wasting all my successes right away, but here we go. 2 more. And another success for another captive. I probably should get some more horses too, but we'll do this for now. So that's our situation, and everybody is marked finish. And the enemy's going to get to do a boatload of APs. Okay, so we're done. This is moving up 1. Free APs or free instruction for the enemy. He's getting 1, so let's roll. That is a west and a 1. I forgot, we're going to put 2 ravage counters on the enemy. And the 1, I think, is hurting us because it's moving it back to culture, isn't it? It is. So they're going to do their free culture action. And we get hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 culture. And we drop all the way down to 1. That hurts. No, we don't. We don't drop all the way down to 1. The reason being is they have a ravage token. So let's roll for that. And that is bingo. So the culture thing just moves over here and then down. Okay, now we draw from the cup. And we get enemy APs. So let's see who's the lucky guy. I rolled a 1. So the north is going to be the lucky 1. And then I rolled a 2. So this encroach becomes a raid, which is going to be worse for us. All right, so first one here is 4. Nope, we'll do 3 plus 2. And we're going to do this encroach. So they have ravage tokens, so he's not going to actually encroach anybody. And a 4 is good. So now we go to the raid, which is 2. And so we're going to take a 4 out and put a 2 back. And since he has ravage tokens, I rolled a 4, so we're good. Next, he's going to try to hunt, which is the 2. And I rolled a 3, so one of the ravage tokens goes away. Next is an encroach, which is 4. I rolled a 5. The other one was halfway on the board again. Damn it, if I didn't get to count the one on the board for my head count actions, I'm not gonna let him count it. All right, so, and then this last one is a war, which is 6 action points. And there it is. The Ravage tokens do go away eventually. And so all of this is going back in the cup. And then this is 4 action points that were unused. And now he has 5 on the board. Slide everything back on. And it's the new turn. No war columns. We get to do an action. So what are our actions? We can do a culture. We can do actions, like real actions, or we can do planning. I'm going to do culture and just push us up to 9. And then that moves this up, and the enemy does get to do a free instruction check, and he succeeds. So he does get to do a free instruction. So it's a 4, so it is the west. And the free instruction is going to be subject. I wrote a 3 here, 1, 2, 3. That becomes a culture. All right, so this is the free instruction they're gonna do. But it's just gonna be to try to remove a Ravage token. And they do remove one. Okay, so now we're going to draw from the cup. And they get 4 APs. And it's 2, so it's the north. And so, they're gonna create quite the ruckus here. So they are going to war. And they don't have any Ravage tokens, so the war for sure is happening. And this is 4 APs, plus 2 off the board. And the war is going to be strength 6. So it's a big guy. And I think the closest one to us is actually this one here. So E is in trouble. Big, big trouble. Bada boom trouble. All right, so that hurts. That hurts a lot, actually. Maybe I shouldn't have done the culture action, huh? I maybe should have ravaged him some more. So that might not have been the best move. But there's nothing I can do now. All right, so now we're to a new phase. We do have a war column, so let's get out the war deck and hope that the north is not moving. And we reveal, and they are not moving. Boy, that was Shamrock Shake right there. Okay, and then we're gonna roll a die, and unless I roll 6, they're gonna be reduced in strength. They are gonna be reduced. So now they become a 5, which is extremely helpful. And then we're going to see what mitigates here. When revealed, draw another war card and check for movement only. Oh, come on. That hurts. That hurts. That hurts. And there it is. They're moving 1. Okay, so they're going to move onto Rancheria E and possibly destroy us. That's what hurts. So we can lose 1 military point and fight them in a battle. We can lose 2 and give up all of our civilians. But can I do that if I don't have any civilians? That's a good question. Where is my hairbrush? Where is my hairbrush? Okay, the player chooses. So it's here. So we can lose 1 military point and fight a battle, or 2 military points, lose all captives. Their war strength goes down by 1. And that goes onto an enemy space or nearest non-allied tribe. So I guess the thing is you're losing 2 military points to push them back. So we could say, hey, buddy, you're going to lose 2 military points and get pushed back, and then we reduce their strength by 1. The drawback here is if we fight the battle and we lose, we could lose the ranch. So if the Comanche unit is inside a rancheria and the enemy wins, its strength is reduced by 1. If it's reduced to 0, the band and all resource counter it possesses goes to stock, and then the Bob counter stacked with it dies. If another band remains, we get to keep battling. Otherwise, the rancheria is destroyed. So if I engage in a battle, it is to the death. Okay? Now, I do get to add +1 for Bob. Okay, because I get to bring Bob in with me. Actually, this would be Gob that's coming with me. I have a 2 strength unit, so I get to add +2 because my strength is 2, right? So that's +3 to my die roll. However, he actually is so strong, he gives me a -1, so I'm only getting a +2. And remember, I need a 6 to get him. So I don't have horse warfare. I still don't have it. So what that would do is that would give me a +1 somewhere in here. There's a battle modifier for that. But I don't have it. So I'd have to roll 4 or better to knock him down a notch. And then once he gets knocked down a notch and he's no longer giving us a -1, then it's a 3 or better to hit him. So you're looking at 50% odds, and there's a real good chance we're going to lose our rancheria. So all of that is to say, I think the best move here is to spend 2 military points, and we kick him back, which is only going to be 1 space, but we do get to knock him down a notch. So he goes from a 5 to a 4, and that helps. So unfortunately, that's how that happens, and it was because of that dang event that let him draw another card. All right, so now it's our turn. What do? Well, we're definitely doing an action, okay? And that action is going to be, I'm going to activate Rancheria E, and that guy, along with Bob and his horse, we're going to go do shenanigans. All right, so we're going to go out and back, 2 movement points, and then he has 3 movement points left. And you can see here that for 2 movement points, while in the same space, we can reduce his column by 1. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to reduce him from a 4 to a 3, and he no longer has the -1 to us, so we reduced him. We do have 1 movement point left, and we're going to choose to raid him while we're there, because we do have 1 point. So this was 2, that was 4. And as you can see, I have 5 movement points. So we're going to raid his sorry butt. And let me just make sure I can raid while there's an enemy column there. And I think I can. Yeah, target space just has to be an enemy space. So we're going to raid him. All right, so I get to draw 2. And then my Bob strength for E is actually a 3. And of course, Bob is worthless, or Gob is worthless. And we're going to draw 2. You know what? I had to raid him. There's a success, and there's 2 enemy APs. So E actually gets a success counter. And we get to put a ravage on that location, which is not bad because that, hopefully we can destroy it and then not have one so close to us. And if I can ever move the rancheria, I'll move it 1 space away so we're not so close to him. But then we're close to this one, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so that wasn't quite as successful as I was hoping, but it is what it is. And we're done with our actions. So this is moving up. We only have 1 more guaranteed set of actions this round. And now we're going to roll for... we have 1 finished unit, and so they're going to get a free action, Then we have another one with 3. So they're only going to get 1 free action. Okay, so the free action is going to be on 2, which is the north. And I rolled a 5, which is here. That's nothing. So the north is going to go, and they're going to get a free encroach action, which we already know is because with the Ravage token there, they're just going to try to remove it, and it doesn't remove. So good job. And now we're going to get to draw from here. And I drew a success. But they still have enemy APs. So I roll a 4, which is the west. And then I roll another 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. That becomes war. And my thumb ninja has just entered the game. How you doing?
Good.
Good? All right. Okay. West is going to take some actions. So they have 3 AP points off camera. This is 2. So we're going to do a subjugate here and spend those 2 plus 1 off camera. And that's just going to be trying to get rid of their Ravage token, which they do. So their Ravage token goes away. Yeah, we got so much to do. And they actually have 2 action points left, so nothing else is going to happen. And the dreaded culture thing is here, so I think we need to get some more Ravage points on them. So we got a war column to worry about and Ravage points to worry about. So lots of bad things here. Okay, the turn is at an end, and now we get back to the war column phase. So let's find out if that war column is going to attack our Comancheria again. And we got lucky. Horseshoe lucky. And then we gotta look at our event. After a band possessing 1 or more captives is marked as finished in a war space, spend all captives to end the war. So we could try to do that to end the war. Before I revealed this, I was supposed to check to see if they got reduced in strength. So let me do that. They would need a 1 or a 2. Cha-ching. So the 3 is now reduced to a 2. That's not bad. Not bad at all. It is our turn, and I do want to do a planning step, but I think I need to do an action step first. And to make things worse, this war column is threatening us, but it is not the biggest threat. The bigger threat is this culture here. I do have 9 culture points, so don't get me wrong, but it only takes 1 or 2 of these to make us lose the game. So I think what I want to do is I want to attack that settlement and get some more Ravage tokens on it, and maybe even attack the other tribe thing to... I can only do so many things at once. But, because the other thing I could do is try to reduce this guy's, this war column's strength. But, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate here. And obviously unload some stuff. Okay, so as you can see, if I don't do anything with this guy, I can gain 1 action point. So I'm going to do that. And then this guy is going to go off and harass the tribe again. And then I'm going to spend the action point to bring him back home. Okay, so I'm going to just move the action point back to 0, and we're going to bring him back home. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so I get to spend 2 draws, and I'm going to do the warfare thing that lets me draw 2 chits. And let's get some Ravage tokens on the north here. So I'm going to draw 2 chits, and that was not good. Then 2 more. And that was awful, okay? So I didn't accomplish anything. So now, I know I'm doing things a little bit out of order, but it doesn't matter. When I spend the AP to come back home, I still have 2 extra movement points. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do 2 more raids, or what is it called? Warpath. And there we go. We finally got the successes there for that guy. And these, of course, go out of play. But that lets me put 2 Ravage tokens on him. And I can even try to do it again. How many more successes are there? Remember, I want to get some on the enemy settlement. So we have 1, 2, there's 3 total successes. I'm going to call it and just get this guy home. Technically, I'm supposed to be going up against the settlement. That's actually how going out of order would have affected things, so I apologize there. That actually would have impacted the way the chit draws would have worked. But anyways, the Bob is going with this one. And you know what? I actually will. Let's do this properly. This guy is sitting here with no Ravage tokens on there, and these 2 successes are going back in the cup. I have to do the Bob first. So Bob's going to attack the enemy settlement with a 3 strength unit, and we can attack it twice if we want to. So let's roll for the Bob. And the Bob is going to add 1. So we're going to get to draw four components here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that is just awful. All right, so that's all going to the enemy. And then, of course, we get to do another raid. And Bob adds nothing, so we get to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. So here we got 2 successes. So those are actually going to go into his medicine space. We're going to grab 2 captives and take it all home. All right, so this particular guy... All right, now I'm spending the AP to bring this guy home, and I can draw twice, right? And I'm going to be able to draw 2 tokens because of this. And there's definitely success tokens in here. In fact, I think I'm guaranteed to get one, feeling how few there are. And there's his. So I got a success token. And of course, he gets more APs, which at this point, I don't care. And so there's a Ravage token. And I'm going to draw again. Another 2, and there's another success token, and another 4 APs, and he gets another Ravage token. So 2 Ravage tokens for him, and I think we said there was going to be 2 on the enemy settlement, which I forgot to put on the board. So 2 in the enemy settlement as well. And there's actually still a success token in the cup. All right. So he makes it back home after spending that action point with nothing. So 2. All right, so now we got to do free actions. So Rancheria E has an unfinished dude. Nothing. Rancheria A has 2 of them. Nothing. All right, now we get to do draw from the cup. It almost doesn't matter, but there's 1 success in here and there's 1 not success, so I drew the success. And I kid you not, there's only 1 more in there. So they got a giant pile of actions here. So let's see who gets to be the beneficiary of that. It is 1, which is the north. That hurts. So let's go. The first one. Let's get them all up here. Holy cow. They have a mountain of them. The first one's only 2. And as you know, they're going to try to remove a Ravage token. And I rolled a 2, which means they do get rid of 1. So now the question becomes which one? Let's find out. It's a hunt action. 6.3.7, it's a recover. Remove one ravage counter from any space. If there's more than one on active, use a random selection. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6 means they removed it from this one. All right, next instruction only costs 2. Well, here, we know they're going to execute all their instructions. So this is 2, that's 5, and that's 4. So we'll get rid of a 4, and then there's a 3 and a 2 for 5. All of these are going to be added to his action points because there's no more actions for him to do. And so we're just going to go straight up to 9. I mean, we know we don't need to mess around with this. He's got more than enough action points. Okay, so, but let's do the raid now. He's going to try to remove a token. And he does, and it's again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's 1, 2, 3. So this one loses the Ravage token. And then before we do this, we were supposed to know if we have more turns. So this is for the operation must do passage of time. We have to roll for check for that. I got a little ahead of myself. The 5 means we're going to get another turn. Okay, so now we're going to keep going. And now they're going to roll to get rid of the Ravage token. And they rolled a 3, and they do get rid of the Ravage token. And then this last one, they're actually going to execute. It's an encroach. So I rolled a 3, which means they're going to go into the Llano Estacado region. And so we get to choose. And I think I'm going to choose this one because that's messing with green, and the bison does get taken away, and that's it. They're done. So all their actions are complete. All right, end of turn. So, okay, now it's war column time. Can we get more horseshoes is the question, and the answer is no. So they're moving into our space. This time it's with a 2 strength warband. So let's think about this. They are no longer doing a -1 to our rolls. And because we have Bob, we're going to get a +1. And because we have a 2 strength unit, we're going to get a +2. But our unit is finished, meaning it's in a finished state. So we're going to get a -1 because he's on his finished side. So we're actually hurting. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 military points to reduce him by 1 again and send him back home. And yeah, and then we would roll to see if he gets reduced, but we can't roll less than a 1, so he's not going to get reduced more than a 1. So then we're going to do the next card. When revealed, bad intel. Increase the strength of the lowest war column by 2. Oh, come on. All right, so the war column jumps back up to a 3. All right. So it's our turn to do an action. So it'd be nice to go and whittle him down with our cards, like our Lords of the Plain, get him back to 1, and get him out of here, right? But our military points just dropped to 3, and I want to do a planning phase, I think, because I want us to be able to use the success tokens that we have. And it'll let us buy some action points and all kinds of other stuff. So let's do this. The planning phase is going to kill this guy, which I think I'm okay with. It is possible we're going to end up with a passage of time and not be able to destroy one of them, but that's okay. So let's do this. I'm going to do a planning phase. Every Bob that has 1 success on his track goes up by 1. So this Bob goes up by 1, and the Bob for E goes up by 1 to a 4. Okay, then we move one to the pry bow. So one to the pry bow here, one to the pry bow there, and oh, we don't have to do it yet. This is going to cause him to go up, one to the pry bow, and then this causes him to go up. And then these two are going to go on the track. I think I can do there and maybe there. I don't know. I guess I can do both like that. Okay, so then I have to, for every success that's on the pry bow track, the pry bow goes up by 1. And this one will go up by 2. And all those successes are sitting out of play right now. And now we can conduct one headman action per pry bow, or we can roll. This pry bow is on a 6, so I'm going to roll for him. And I rolled, hold on. I do not get to take an action if it's greater than. As long as it's less than or equal, I get to, so I'm actually going to get 6 actions from this pry bow right here. Holy buckets. All right, so we're in the business. So 6 actions plus 1, 2, 3, 4 more actions, right? If I don't roll for any of the other ones. So I get 10 actions, folks. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Can I do it if culture is equal? No, it needs to be greater. So 3 of the actions, that's all the more I can increase the military right there. So I spent 3 and was able to get the military back up. Next, I can get AP by reducing a pry bow's medicine by 1. So I can do things, so that was 3 actions, and so I can go like 4, 5, 6, right? And then I get 3 AP points for that. So now I can buy cards for AP points. And so I can take 3 cards into my hand here. This one marks all in-play bands as unfinished. And I'm going to buy that one, in fact. And I'm going to use it right away. So now all my bands are unfinished, so I don't have to lose them later on in this planning step. So that was an action point well worth it. And then this one, before a raid, regardless of success check, I get to collect 1 captive and 1 horse, and I only place 1 ravage counter. Am I buying it? Well, I don't have to. What about this one? Disclosing this card in order to attempt to gain an advantage during step 1 of a success check. I can treat as a success drawn, or yeah, I'm buying this one. So I'll buy that one for 1. So now I'm down to 1 AP. And so let's see, I did 3 military moves. I did 1, 2, 3, so that's 6. And then I bought 2 more for 8. I still have 2 more actions. So I can do this, spend an AP to get this, which would be one of those 2 actions. I don't really care for this one. So I'm going to just lower my pry bow by 2 more and just get 2 more action points. So now I'm up to 3. Okay, so why am I doing that? Well, my bob's a 6, so I can retire my bob and move my pry bow up. But it almost doesn't matter, because then afterwards you roll the death check and things become miserable. Okay, all finished bands strength is reduced by 1. I have no finished bands because I played that card. Okay, the player may move Comancheria counters. And this is the part I wanted to do. So E is for sure moving away to there. So we can at least get 1 space of cushion between that warband. And is anybody else moving? Well, C can't move, B can, and I'm going to move B up so B is next to them, and they're going to have a lot harder time keeping that there. So we're done with our moves. I'm going to leave A where he is, and D stays where he is. And then enemy gets 1 free instruction. And then let's roll a die to see if the passage of time is going to happen. I rolled a 5, and gosh darn it, we're going to get another round after this. So it goes up. We are going to get to execute actions with an extremely awful Paraibo here. But I have a level 6 Bob, which basically is going to be able to make my raids obliterate. That's an interesting one. Do we want to do that? I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Let's do the free instruction. Roll again. It's a 1, so the north is acting. And it's a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the north is going to encroach. So that's a free action. And let's roll for the encroach. I rolled a 5, which is Brazil. And I do get to pick where he goes. So we're going to put him here. And that's good. And okay, so now we're done with our action. Now we do, okay, they don't get any free actions because all of our guys are marked as finished. There's no unfinished, I'm sorry, they're all marked unfinished. There's no finished guys. And so now we're going to draw from the cup, which, by the way, only has 1 success in the entire cup. So there's a real good chance. And remember, they have 9 action points over there. They got 9. So there's actions that are going to happen, and there's 2. So yeah, all kinds of crap is going to happen. So let's see who gets to do a buttload of actions. I rolled a 5. It's going to be the South. Ooh, interesting. So no better place to burn all these action points than the South. So let's try to do that. Well, the first one is subjugate for 4. This is 2. I'll put that back in the cup, and now we'll reduce them to 7. So they're going to try to subjugate. And for them, they're green here. So if you follow along the green path, they're basically destroying the tribe that we just placed. So that's no problem. And now they have another subjugate for 4. Okay, so that's happening for 4 more. So 7 minus 4 is 3, and they're killing this tribe. So this is actually just helping us out and burning a bunch of APs to boot. And then they have a third subjugate for 4 more, and they only have 3 action points. So that's it. They were able to eat up a lot of the action points, and it had no consequence to us. That was actually quite nice. Okay, so we got a little bit of a gift there. But now it's enemy war column time, because that was the end of their turn. So let's put this here. Come on, Shamrock Shake, Shamrock Shake. Shamrock Shake! All right, so nobody moves. They do have a 3 strength, so let's see if they get reduced. I rolled a 2. So they do get reduced to a 2. And next card. Spend up to 3 movement points in a war space with 1 band. For each movement point spent, reduce their strength. So this is sort of like our Lords of the Plain card, but worse. So our Lord of the Plain card's better. We can do it for 2 movement points. So that's okay. It's still a nice little action if we didn't have that card. But yes, that's where we're at. They did not move. And now it's time for our action. Okay, so the settlement has 2 Ravage tokens on it. And then I moved B next to here so we could get him ravaged. But you got to understand, there's only 1 success in the cup. So getting them to, quote, ravage, you have to still draw a success. So that's really brutal. Now, I do have this card, which if I roll anything but a 1 or a 2, I will get a success so I can get him ravaged. The question is do I want to risk that? And I mean, what better time to use this card, right? There's no successes in the cup. Well, actually, there's 2 successes now because we moved up on the operation track and put one of them back in. But still, it's a really low probability that we're going to succeed. So I can go in like with, I can use a 3 strength unit that lets me draw 3 chips, right? My bob is strength 2, which probably won't help. And I can actually draw 3 chips twice. So I'd be able to draw 6 chips out of the cup. All that's going to do is give the enemy a buttload of action points. Or I can go in there with a 1 strength unit and raid once, use this card, and just hope I get a success out of this card. And then I'm only drawing 1 chip, and then I can just quit, right? And so then I'm not giving them a whole bunch of action points. And just to give you an idea, I mean, this thing's loaded with all kinds of nastiness, and you can see the 2 successes in there. So it's what else could I do? I could do a culture action, which would give me 3 culture points and nothing else. I don't like that one as much. I could have tried to whittle down this warband, right? I move somebody there, spend 2 movement points to whittle them down. The problem is I move my Comancheria away, so now I have to spend 4 movement points just to go out and back. So not yet. I would do that if he moved closer to us. I have captives. I could trade. The problem is the captains are in Rancheria A, and as somebody pointed out, now that I've ravaged that settlement, they're not going to trade with me. I'm not allowed to trade with them. So I would have to move to like the ally all the way over here to trade. And that's 6 movement points just to go out and back. So not really an option. Doing another planning step, I could do that, but what would I do? I mean, I'm going to get more action points. I can't give myself more military points. That's all I can do is give myself more action points by killing Parabos down to 1 medicine. It's not doable. I'm truly at a spot where there's not a lot to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate B, and I'm going to, as you can see, B has 2 spots next to the Paraibo, and I have 3 bands there. Pick any 2 bands to put there. I'm only going to activate 1 of them. And so I'm going to do the one that has the 6 movement points and 1 strength. So we're going to do that. And I'm not going to take Bob with me, or Rob. Obviously, they're going to take a horse. Doesn't matter. And we're going to go there and try to hit Arkansas, lower Arkansas. And I'm going to draw just 1 chip. I'm not going to do this one, which lets me draw an extra chip. Because I'm just convinced that there's a real high chance that all I'm going to be doing is giving them action points. So I'm going to draw 1 chip, and we're going to roll the die and hope to get a ravage from this. That's what I'm hoping for. So this is during step 1 of the success check. And so I'm going to draw the chip first, and then we'll roll the die. So I have no idea which one. There's a whole bunch in my hand. Trying to whittle it down to 1, and of course. So we gave them 4 action points. So let's roll the die, and please don't get a 1 or a 2. Oh my gosh, I rolled a 2. The dice just don't like me in this game. I mean, there was a few times it worked my way, but oh my gosh, I just oh, I feel like my eyes need to twitch. I mean, it's that bad. Okay, so he goes back home. We have one finished, so we got to see if they get a free instruction. They don't. The passage of time doesn't matter what we roll. This goes up and the success goes into the cup. So now we have 3 in there. And then let's draw from the cup for the enemy actions. And there it is, 2 more. And let's roll. I rolled a 1, so that means the north is activating. And as you can see, the first one is 5 to encroach. So let's roll for the encroach. Ooh, a 3 is not good. 3 is Llano Estacado. Actually, that's not too bad. So they're going to go here and remove the bison. Next one is a raid, which is, we're going to have to see what that does because there's already a war column out there. So let's see what happens there. That costs 2, and now they're down to 2 action points, and they won't be able to do any more. So this is the final one. So what happens when we get a raid when they already have a war column? So let's see. If North already has a war column in a map space, if that war column is already in the same space as a band or rancheria, terminate this procedure. Otherwise, move the North's war column 1 space and check for strength reduction. Then terminate. So they do. They move 1 space, and then we check, and only a 1 would have reduced him, and so that's it. Okay, so now we are at the end, and we have to do the war column step first, then we do a passage of time. So it is possible we're going to get attacked by that war column again. So let's do this, and sure thing, we are getting attacked by them. So I could spend 2 military points, which would drop us down to 4, and force him back 1 more time, or I can choose to fight him. I am now at full strength, so that's +1. I'm sorry, I would get 1 for Bob, and then 2 for the unit. So I'd be able to roll and get a +3 to my roll. I do have trade goods, but they're not in that rancheria. So let me see if I can use the trade goods even though it's in a different rancheria. I'm sort of thinking no, but I just want to make sure. Original die roll canceled, may not accept old, may continue to spend trade goods, may be spent at any time. Return all counters drawn during a success check to the draw cup and redraw the same number. Oh, you know what? I could have used trade goods on that card. So when I rolled the 2, I could have spent a trade good to roll again. It's a little too late now because the North activated, and in order to re-roll during a band's activation, the trade good counter must be possessed by that active band or the band fighting the battle. In any other case, the trade goods counter to be spent may be either possessed or unpossessed in a Rancheria resource box. So in the case of this battle, the trade goods would have to actually be in Ranch E's location because it has to be possessed by the band. So we would not get to do any rerolls. Okay, getting a +3 to your roll. If I roll a 3, 4, 5, or 6, I succeed. Otherwise, my life gets miserable quick, and we could lose the ranch. So I wish I had like 1 other unit there to help protect it. It is such a huge risk, guys. And ladies, do I have the cojones to do a battle? And here's the thing, I would have to do this twice. So let's say I succeed the first time, then he gets reduced to 1 strength. Well, whether it's a 2 strength or a 1 strength, I still need a 3, 4, 5, or 6 to hit him. And if he hits me, I go down to a 1 strength, and that means that I now need a 4, 5, or 6 to hit him because I get 1 less plus to my roll. You know what? I'm sitting on 6 military points, I'm gonna spend the 2 military points and kick him back. It's the right thing to do, and he's down to a 1. He's just an annoying guy. I can't do anything about it, and we're gonna call it a day. All right, so I am at 1 hour and 20. Let's finish the passage of time, and then I'll do an assessment on whether I can do more playthrough. This game is taking a very long time to play. Obviously, chatting with you, the camera, and doing camera stuff does slow it down a little. I honestly don't know if I could go any faster. If I went faster, I think I would start missing steps because there's so many procedural things. But anyways, I won't ramble on this. Let's go ahead and do the passage of time. And by the way, with it being, when these are 1 hour long, it takes about 2 or more hours to upload the video. But this one's 1 hour and 20. This will be close to 3 hours. So actually, I'm going to stop, and then we'll just do another video and keep going and do the passage of time with that one. So thanks for watching. Stay awesome.